Hey guys, I'm Manod Louie and welcome to my latest video. So, I thought, you know what, I'm kind of interested in conspiracy theories and, you know, that sort of thing. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, aliens, that sort of thing, you know. I've been interested in them since I was little, really. I thought, you know what, why not I bring some of that to YouTube? Now, the things that I'm going to talk about, I don't know if they're true. It's just like conspiracies, they're just theories. Some may be facts, some may be complete fiction, I don't know. But this is a series I just thought I would start, and I'm going to call it Conspiracy Nerd. And essentially, this video is just a pilot, if you will, I guess, the first episode of something, to see how it goes down and see if, well, to see if you guys actually would like it on my channel. So make sure you try and smash a thumbs up. Let's try and get 10 likes on this video. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about, is time travel actually possible? Now, I thought of this when I saw this image. I've seen it countless times, and it just really gets me going and really gets me thinking, is it actually possible? Because this image that's going to be on the screen right now, it can be just found on the internet. If you just type in time traveler picture or something like that, you'll be able to find it. Now, it shows a crowd from a long time ago. I'm not entirely sure how. It's probably in the 20th century. I'm not exactly sure when. It'll be early, like 20th century. I think it's sometime around 1910, but don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. But you can see all the people, they're dressed like in old-fashioned clothes, except one guy. There's one guy that stands out. Now this guy, he literally just is standing in the middle of the crowd, and the things that he's wearing gives him away. He appears to be wearing sunglasses, a hoodie, a t-shirt, and he's holding a camera in his hand. Now, and it's too small of a camera for it to be anything like the kind of cameras they would have had back then. I assume, like I said, I'm guessing it's around that sort of time. It's definitely before the Second World War. Before that time, half of the stuff here they didn't really have, and if they did, they were either bigger or looked completely different. They certainly didn't have hoodies, definitely didn't have t-shirts. And it just begs the question, is this guy actually a time traveller? Now, it could just be photoshopped. Someone could be really good at Photoshop and they could have made this image and it's just a fake. But if you look at it, he's actually standing behind someone, and the person he's standing behind is that matches the rest of the picture. It just seems a bit weird that they would be able to Photoshop, they would go to all the trouble of Photoshopping someone in front of someone else. I mean, maybe it's just Photoshop, or maybe it's an actual time traveller and somehow he's managed to actually get there in those clothes and he just happened to appear in that image. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's definitely an interesting theory and it's a cool picture, not gonna lie. So another thing that suggests time travel might have been possible, or people might have been looking into it. Basically, in World War II, Adolf Hitler was supposedly working on some sort of time machine type thing. And essentially it was called Die Glocke, which in English means the bell, and it was described as, if it's actually, obviously, I don't know if it's real or not, but if it is, it was described as like I think it was 6 foot high, like dome type, small like pod type thing, that certainly big enough for someone to fit inside it, I imagine. And it was made of gold. Well, it was golden coloured, and it kind of just looked like a bell, like a church bell or something like that, or like the symbol of Taco Bell. But this machine, it was either the American or the British, I can't remember, but whichever the Allied forces went into this place where they were supposedly building this thing, they came to a room, and this room was empty. There's nothing in it anymore, there's just some pipes and some random stuff, but no Die Glocke, no bell. And they must have thought, you know what, maybe it wasn't real, maybe it was just a thing. But now this is where it gets really interesting. A couple of years later, I believe it was in the, no, I'm trying to get this right, 60s, so it's around 20 years later, a weird pod type object was seen going over some states in America, I think around Kentucky and them sort of states, and it was seen like falling from the sky, and it eventually came down in a certain part of America. Now that just seems a bit insane really if you think about it, because it's almost identical to what was described as the actual Die Glocke. And obviously Hitler killed himself, so there was no way to, you know, ask him or anything. Or did he? Now this is a question that I kind of, it's very far-fetched, and I doubt that is actually a thing, but there's a theory that Hitler used Die Glocke to transport himself into the future or wherever, and that's why he showed up in the 60s, I think it was. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but it's definitely quite a time after. There's at least 20 years. Supposedly Hitler did that, and the Hitler that they assumed that killed himself was actually like a decoy is the word I was looking for. Yeah, the Hitler that killed himself would have been a decoy if Hitler had actually done that. And what's really weird about the story about it coming down in America some 20 years after was the fact that when it landed, loads of trucks, they were unmarked, didn't have any US military logos on, anything like that, were just unmarked, went to the site, packed it into some sort of container and drove it somewhere, and no one knows where it is apart from the people that drove it there. And they obviously recovered something, whether it was Die Glocke or not, they recovered something that fell from the sky, and they went away to lock it up straight away. Just seems a bit fishy, really. But that's conspiracies for you. We don't know if they're true or not. Sometimes they get proven true, but most of them, no one knows. So guys, I hope you did enjoy that video. Leave a like if you did. Let's try and smash 10 likes like I said. Comment on what your opinions are on time travel. Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's just science fiction? Also leave a comment on saying whether you like the series or not, or you could just leave a like if you want to let me know that. Subscribe if you enjoy my content in general. I'll see you next time guys.